Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon from wherever you are in the world. This is the International Sim Drivers Association, and we have finally made it to an overcast Suzuka circuit in the far eastern corner of the world. Andrzej Kuchar, the AM-class leader of the championship. I'm going to go and double-check that yet again, because, you know, you can never be too sure. Runs around on his warm-up lap for the final time for the GT3 Cup Challenge. Good evening, everyone from here in the UK, and good morning for those in Japan. My name is Ike Sky, and I will be taking you through every turn of this hour-long race, as well as the 20-minute qualifying that we have to look forward to, with 14 drivers, 12 of which on the track at the moment, running around in this qualifying session. Lots of strategy to be played out. As always, it's wonderful to have your company, and again, it's going to be wonderful to be able to bring you every thrill, spill and technical detail that I possibly can from this race. Just on the outlap at the moment, so absolutely missing nothing on track at the moment. And just going to go and get the standings up for it. No, it was Peter Baintner that is leading at the moment. Andrzej has been demoted to second with a double victory of the races that he's started in Imola and Barcelona. Missed out on the Silverstone round, but not out of the woods yet is Baintner. I don't even think I see him in the stack. Peter Baintner is on track, so the 610 is on track and coming around to the end of his warm-up lap. So there will be challenge for Andrzej Kuchar tonight for the top of the AM class. The Pro class is pretty much sealed up. Alex Torregrossa, who was close to first out onto the track, has won that in fairly commanding style. Not even the late challenge of Adrian Santic has dissuaded that number 7 car from its victory overall. Something that is definitely to be commended, though, is the consistency of Dan Minton. We've said many times how he deserves a win. It hasn't happened yet, but he has been third for the past 3 rounds, and that has earned him second overall in the championship. That 75 car sporting a new livery, and I must admit, it does look rather good, with the red roof on top as well. There we go. But drivers who are setting lap times at the moment, I do believe that is Nida Zach that is just circulating behind as well. That shiny Porsche, looking fantastic as always. We're going to need to wait for another couple of minutes before the times actually come through yet. Andrzej was one of the first cars out, and as you can see, he's coming up to the start of his fast flying lap. As to whether it will count, however, we don't know. Torregrossa has certainly... I don't think he's... Andy Brooker in front of Sodre, that's absolutely fine. Adrian Santic across the line with a 2:04.8 is a very respectable time. Torregrossa, I believe, was caught corner cutting first time out, and as was Andrzej Kuchar. So the two drivers competing for the poles in their respective categories still having issues. Peter Baintner as well will be slightly further away. Get live chat up as opposed to top chat, because thanks YouTube. As for the teams championship, Sendit are ahead of Selfa Racing by 97.66, so pretty much sealed up there, providing there is no absolute catastrophe of a race. The Unique Point Racing team have well and truly wrapped up the team's championships with the Racing for Life Club in second position. The team's championship just as important as the drivers' championship here. Should not be diminished the importance of any of the 4 championships that we have on track at the moment. Just have a quick look around everything else. Make sure all of my systems are operational. As Andrej hopefully circulates around to set lap time. We were looking for Toro Grosso to cross the line as well. He's only just started and got another lap disallowed. Andrej, a 206.3 as an opening salvo is not the best. That puts him 4th overall. Andy Brooker in the 130 car is having the time of his life at the moment in the 130, just behind the 78. I feel as though... who's that? That's Sudre in front. I wonder if the 78 is going to start flashing his lights, potentially trying to move that 13 car over. As always, the YouTube chat is open and awaiting your comments. Any points of intrigue, issues that you can see, personal tips and things that I might not be able to see from my bird's eye view up in the comm box. Feel free to throw them in the YouTube chat, and I will bring them to the rest of the stream if I can. Thank goodness we also have the race stewards to watch over us tonight as well. The ISDA team always very thorough with their stewarding, and it's awesome to see this. Miladinovic, can we just have a very, very brief word in this early stage of qualifying up towards the head of the field with a 2 minutes, what was that, 4.3. So quite a turn of pace has the 58 car had, with Minton provisionally sitting in second as well. Bear in mind, we do not have a lap from Toro Grosso yet. We haven't had a lap from Abhishek Jha yet. And we haven't had a lap from Nida Zak either. All of whom are very, very fast drivers who we will likely see towards the top of the timesheets. It looks like Zak's having issues with that Porsche at the moment. What else have we got? Jha is coming up towards the end of a lap. This will hopefully be representative, provided he hasn't extended the track anywhere. There is a lot of corner cutting going in that last chicane. And not on the apex that you'd want. You'd think they'd want to cut the second apex, but perhaps not. As he comes across the line, we'll go 4th behind Dan Minton for the 25 car. That is a fairly slow running 7 car. I think that's a slow running 7 car. It's the tiniest bit difficult to tell. Any drivers who might be dropping in to have mid-race interviews, if you feel so inclined, I will be around. I have my eyes on the ready for interview room so that you can get my attention should you need to. I don't think this is a representative lap time. I'm going to say this is an out lap. There was a yellow flag for a spot of dust up on the inside of the Dunlop. It's not Dunlop. I'm sure that was a Dunlop hairpin. I could be misremembering though. It has been a while. Down to Spoon now. That beautiful double left apex. The Santic is unchallenged. New driver to the league, and in the finale too. What a way to make an entrance. I'll see if Toro Rosso sets a representative lap time. I think this might be an out lap, in which case we can do my favourite thing and jump on board with the championship winner for the GT3 spring season for ISDA. And indeed, that was his outlap. So, first corner, double apex right-handed. It will be down to 4th gear for this first one. 3rd and possibly 2nd. Holds it in 3rd for the first corner, just being able to feed the traction on a little bit earlier. Now up through the snake, the S's, left, right. Through here, you just got to keep to your line and keep the car underneath you while the tyres scream for mercy constantly. And isn't that just the story of this track? Then the long left-hander at Dunlop, mind the exit road on the outside there. You can use it if you find you need to, but it gives way to the gravel very quickly. Degner 1 and Degner 2, decreasing radius right-handed yet again. Use as much of that AstroTurf on the outside as Alex does, as brave as you might be. Now down to the hairpin. Racing line be damned at this point. We've seen... Oh, that was rather good. We've seen fastest laps come from using the outside line through that hairpin before, just giving you the extra speed. Yellow flags out to be a little bit aware of. Coming down towards Spoon Curve now. Double left, the story of this track. Decreasing radius, and then get into the apex here. The curb's in a really terrible place on the exit just here. Oh, it's actually not on ACC. And then up the National Straight before the second to last corner at 130R, down to 5th gear. Get back on the throttle as early as you dare. That's a little bit wide from Toro Rosso. I don't know if that's going to be disallowed by the game. And then into the final chicane at Casio. And out on to the start-finish straight once again. It might be a representative lap time. It might not. Where's he going to come across the line? He goes to 2nd place. And the number 7 car is 0.05 of a second from pole for what feels like the first time in this season. It looks like he's going for another run. Perhaps Alex feeling that there is more to be gained from that 7 car. Let's watch from the outside perspective. As that GT3 engined Cup car, because that's what's going on here. GT3 engine with less aero. These cars are enormously quick in a straight line. There's no traction control to save you if you get it all wrong as well. So that could be why we're seeing, and I did see last lap around, Alex got a beautiful 4-wheel slide on coming through the hairpin to just get himself straightened up a bit quicker. Wonderful driving as always from your champion for this particular season, almost hitting the grass. Even in sim racing, it always comes down to those millimeters that matter. runs as far out onto the outside of 130R of Spoon, as he dares. Then he gets to rest for about 5 seconds before he's back onto the brakes through 130R here, and hoping that he can improve. How does his time compare at the moment? He is up on his previous best. This has a real opportunity. As he gets it all wrong. You can't even blame me for that one. It was already going wrong before I said anything. Good evening, Steve. How are we, my friend? Here's your man. Circulating in 5th at the moment, but I think there's more pace in that BDX racing car. Just trying to get some heat into the rear tyres. That is a big challenge here for the drivers, is getting the heat into the tyres in a balanced fashion. The 6/10 off the pace and is on an outlap now, is Minton. Lovely little colour around the headlights as well. Is that a I like the livery that Dan's got, Steve. Do you know if that's for any particular reason? Or he just fancied a change? Yes, it is Minton on an outlap, cool. And now he starts circulating Zamora. It is going a bit quicker. Where has he made that time up? It's entirely on the exit of Spoon, it looks like. That's how important the exit is from Spoon Curve. Because you carry... He's gained 2/10 just from a better exit up onto that back straight. Excellent. Yeah, I'm hoping Dan has a good race as well. He's got a real opportunity to secure second in the overall championship. Is the colour of the Escort. I've been seeing some pictures of that. That's a beautiful piece of kit, that is. Zamora. Ooh, it seems that was not earned legitimately for Diego Zamora. Back to Minton, who is running on par with where he has been. Torregrossa is running fast enough potentially to steal the pole away in these dying moments of qualifying. Minton's on course to maintain his current pace. Yeah, Escort is beautiful. It really is gorgeous. Yellow flag is out somewhere on the track. Where is... Oh, it's been cleared now. Good grief. Can Torregrossa get that all-important lap time out of the 7 car to be able to control the pace up to the finish line? I think that was Zamora that just... It was. Zamora that was just spun on the inside, so what may have been a very good lap, potentially pushing him further up, is going to be abandoned in the dying moments. As half the field are already in the pits, they have called time on this session. Torregrossa is 0.6 of a second up on his previous best. I don't know if it's going to be a legitimate lap time. ACC does not give me any of that information. But neither Zach, too, is up in the position. Minton's third. Perfect. Can Toro Grossa steal the win away after the checkered flag falls? He comes across the line now. Come on. There we go. To the lead by 6/10. Adrian Santic must be sat there, head in hands, wondering how he has found that pace so late in the session. And Minton still running up to speed as well. Neither Zach is 3/10 up there together on track as well, so we're going to be able to watch this play out. Minton might yet lose third position on the grid. 3 minutes remaining, 3 minutes 51 remaining, so plenty of time for the drivers to finish their laps. Oh, I don't know. Minton's are going a little quicker. And Zach did not quite get the... Oh, this is going to be so tight. This is going to be so tight between third and fourth on the grid. And remember, this is only qualifying. There's an hour's race to play out before then. Oh, as Neither Zach gets it all wrong on the exit, he's going to lose all of that advantage that he gained. Can Minton improve at all? He doesn't need to. He's not under pressure. But he's going to go around onto the start-finish straight anyway. And did not improve, unfortunately. He was so close. So close to getting that pole lap. So, with... There we go. There's definitely a car flashing its lights there. I don't know why. So, with the final round of the championship well and truly lined up in a kind of understood form, Miladinovich really did out-qualify himself there today. Wow. Leading away the pack for the final time will be the champion Alex Toro Grossa in the number 7 car. Alongside him will be a newcomer to the league, but an obvious threat in the form of Adrian Santic. Second row will be made up of the 75 in that... Screw it, I can do this, so I'm going to. Look at that. What a livery for the 75 car. Basic, but just wonderful to see. Really is good looking, and the start-finish straight being downhill is making this look even better. Let me just get off the floor a bit. There we go. So, Minton in the 75, with Neither Zach in the 89 alongside, and then the car that I was talking about just now, the 58 in the Jensen Button Team RGN colours. 58 car qualifying first for the AM cars, being followed up by Zamora, who was doing so well with his final qualifying lap, but had a bit of an incident at the hairpin. I have a feeling we're going to see that a bit during the race as well, so Diego shouldn't be feeling too bad. Abhishek Jha, the second pro car in an AM sandwich, starting in 7th. 8th will be the second place Peter Baitner, and Andy Brooker will start in 9th positions, and 3rd in the AM class is a great start for him. Dejan Jokic in the 74 will start 10th, and Jean Sodre will start in 11th in that number 13 car. Andrzej Kushar, championship challenger at this point after having such bad luck in the early part of the season, has some work to do to pull past Baitner to gain that points advantage, but you never know what the race can hold. Matteo Monticelli in the 66 car will be on the final row of the grid, and Joshua Peterson will round out the final car on this 14-car grid. These are your drivers for the final round of the championship, and I did that thing that I really shouldn't have done. And The beauty of sim racing, meaning that we can pull all sorts of silly angles, kinda like this. A moment of peace before... Yes, Alex, P1. That seemed a little bit harder to work for than we've seen previously from you. Congratulations if you are in chat. A minute of peace then. And it is the last minute of peace that we will get. Actually. Huh. Having made a couple of liveries on these cars, that number plate is really annoying. Or the number plate section, that is the black plate on the 78 you can see, the third car there. It's a real pain to work around. But apparently, if you take the Spa car, I can't remember the name of the team still, then you get a total sponsorship there. Because of course you do. Yep. Yep, 1 second out of minting in the first two sectors. Yeah, it really is an awful... Well, it's an aero-balanced track, really, isn't it? Good evening, Tom. And good evening, Dan. Great to see you all in chat. I've been singing your praises already, don't worry. But take a breath and listen to the sound of the flat six engines pull away from the grid for the final time here at ISDA. Well, for this season. I'm sure they'll be back. A little bit of lag there for Peterson, it seems. And so, the arduous task of getting as much heat into those tyres. No sorte, John Sodre? Good evening, Patricia. I assume you are in some way related to Jean, who has had a pretty decent evening so far tonight. Hopefully he can carry on and maximise the potential of this evening. What else do we have around? It looks as though... Nope, we're good. Just making sure things to be... Oh, that was... Minton having a bit of an issue there on the warm-up lap. Not the first that we have seen, not the last, but I wonder if that will have damaged his car already. I know that there are issues in other sims, but I'm not sure about the warm-up lap in ACC, whether you are protected or not. However, what more do we have to say other than thank you very much for joining us on this incredible journey. Wunderbar. It's going to be a closely fought end to the season. Mitja Miladinovic, a shining star in qualifying, really standing out, perhaps through a little more practice or perhaps just feeling really at home at this Suzuka circuit. As they come up the back straight, I will encourage caution through turns 1 and 2 and up through the S's. If that's what we get or not, we don't know. But what I will do is get a little something for my throat, because I'm not going to be able to do that after this point. I don't think anyone's going to have time to breathe whatsoever as they line up for the grid. Santic going very, very wide as well. 2 by 2 they will come across the line, and for the final round of the International Sim Drivers Association GT3 Cup Challenge tonight from Suzuka, we wait for the green flag. And oh, it's a messy formation to start the race. We go green, and a massive amount of oversteer for one of the cars has put him into the wall. Who was that had the issue? I think that was Abhishek Jha in the 25. It was. He will drop to the back of the field. At the head of the field, 75 car goes to second. That is Dan Minton leapfrogging the 125. And the 89 of Snyder Zach has made his way past the 125 as well. Where on earth has Santic gone? Santic's fallen away. Minton's there. Miladinovic has just sat and watched a masterclass in starting. We'll grab a replay of that start momentarily, because we have that technology here. And as the driver tower shuffles its way for the first time, let's see. Andy Brooker has not fallen back. Peterson has had a demon start by the looks of it. Andre has fallen back. Brooker, so there was quite a bit of argy-bargy through the first couple of corners, it seems. Either that or cold tyres in the early part of the race has caught a couple of the drivers out. Bless you guys for using car numbers. It makes my life significantly easier. Because unfortunately, I don't know all of the nicknames that you guys are known by yet. Neither Zach, it looks like, under pressure from the 125 car, but that was a big pressure overtake. It looks like Santic just lost his focus at that key moment. Other things to keep eyes on. Miladinovic has defended himself from the pro car of Zamora absolutely brilliantly. And into turns 1 and 2 we go. There's understeer for the 125 car. Perhaps incorrect tyre pressures. Or perhaps that was strategy. As on the short drive up to the S's, the 125 car now all over the back of the 89 car. Nothing going to happen through the S's.
This is a race control. Start incident between cars number 13 and 78 under investigation. Cars number 13 and 78 under investigation. Over.
And that is the new and improved Mali Bacho, head steward for tonight. What else do we have going on? It looks like Baitner is under pressure from Abhishek Jha, which is not a problem, but Monticelli is a bigger issue. I think we can just about spare the time to go to replay for a moment, as just gotta find the start. There we go. So let's get the angle of turn 1 from a nice static perspective. Ah, you gotta love sim racing. Into turn 1 they came then. And Minton had already made it past the space. Oh, look at that. That was on the start-finish straight. So Minton has had an absolute demon start, and there actually aren't any... There aren't any camera shots that would give us a usable perspective. So unfortunately, unless I go here, which still isn't exactly brilliant, the lights went green. Minton had the very slightly better start. The 89 of 9 Zach didn't know where to go. All was fair there. Now what we need to do is find Andrzej here, and on the throttle they go. So the 78, oh, so that was a 3-car issue, and Andrzej, I'm sure, was heartbroken that it has come to that. Toro Rosso leads, Dan Minton in second, Nidazak in third, under pressure still from Adrian Santic. Mitya Miladinovic in the 58 is your leader in AM, followed by Diego Zamora in the 77, 74 of Jokic in 7th. Baitner, now champion-elect in the AM class, being followed by the 25 of Abhishek Jha, who he can let go if he needs to, but there is no real pressure at the moment. Diego Zamora, another driver who...
This is the race control. Car number 13 receives a 30-second time penalty for causing a collision at the start. 30 seconds time penalty for car number 13.
That's a big penalty.
Now investigating lap 1, turn 2 incident between cars number 148, 130. Over.
So a lot of incidents through turn 1 further down the field. Great that we can have all of that detail from race control. Now Zamora, there's no reason for Miladinovic to fight this particular battle. If Zamora wants to take it to the pro cars ahead, which, bear in mind, the car ahead is less than a second ahead of this battle here, there's no reason for the 58 to fight. We'll see if he gives Zamora room to be able to get ahead. The only thing that he's doing is driving a wedge between himself and the second place Peter Baitner, but I don't think he needs it. Miladinovic is in an entirely different league tonight from the rest of the field in the AM class. Other drivers to be looking for. Baitner is under pressure from Abhishek Jha. You can see in the background that could actually be a pass for position about to happen. The 25 car around the outside, just a big old kick of oversteer for the 610. Thank you very much, ACC, for your camera tracking being appalling. And the 25 went wide, but has enough speed. It's what I was saying in the qualifying. That hairpin, it doesn't matter what line you take, you're going to come out at the same speed. So a quick and dirty pass, it seems, for the 25, judging by the damage over the front of the car. But no position changed as far as the class is concerned. So now Diego Zamora, we need to see what he can do. But Miladinovic is keeping with Santic here, and almost putting pressure, unless the 125 was trying to get some clear air between himself and the 89 so that he can look after his tyres a bit better. It's all thinking that needs to be done here. 74 is being a bit dropped here as well. What else is going on around the track? You can see Sodre with that 30-second penalty, an enormous penalty to be applied. Remember that Race Control have infinitely more camera perspectives than we do. So even if there was nothing that we saw, doesn't mean that there wasn't something else that they have had a look at. Once again, Zamora getting really close in the braking zone and through the trickier sections. Degner's 1 and 2, and here is the opportunity, a bit of a wiggle for Miladinovic. Broke traction on the rear axle. He is kind of blocking. That's a really half-hearted block if it is. He's going to stick to his line. Zamora pulls back into line. Doesn't have the performance on the brakes to be able to make it past. Can he pressure the 58 into a mistake? 58 misses the apex, but he will get drive off of 130 off of Spoon Turn. And that will mean he has a higher speed coming up onto the straight here. Side by side, they go up the national grid hatchings and into 130R. This is not a position you want to go side by side. Zamora will have the inside and take the position, and now will be desperate to hunt after Adrian Santic. I think he feels he was robbed. Not robbed. He threw away a potential podium position in the qualifying session in the dying moments.
Between cars number 148 and 130, racing incident. No further action is taken. No further action between 130 and 148.
And that's always something I was watching. I can't remember which IMSA race it was now. No further action is a very important thing to... Oh, big mistake for the 89. What has happened there? Or was that the question for Nida Zak here? Did he jump or was he pushed? Adrian Santic is up to third place. I don't know as he was necessarily involved. Let's have a look at the 125 very quickly. It looks like a clean car. I believe that was a forced error. Kind of. But Zamora now to fourth position, gifted by that off by Nida Zak. Let's very quickly have a look at that replay for the 89 car. Previous lap through the S's, and also they were alongside. The 125 was up the inside and they did make contact. Side by side, I think the 125 had the right to the line at that point, but he was helped a little way off the track by the 89 car. And now Nida Zak with all the work to do to get back to where he was. And is he carrying damage? That's the next question. As behind it looks like that no, it's Dejan Jokic. Now under pressure from Peter Baintner. And Miladinovic was not under pressure from the 25 car, but is now walking away as well. 25 car of Abhishek Jha, a man of pace we know from earlier in the championship, but perhaps not feeling Suzuka for whatever reason tonight. Jokic looks as though he had... Aero balance is king in this game, it really is. And now, that was a bit of a lock-up as well for the 74 car. Perhaps put the brake bars a little bit further back, Dejan. some more. It looks like he's got Nidazak under control for the time being. Don't forget though. Whee, that's a bit of a wide moment for Jokic. Trying to set himself up for the long straight down towards 130R. Closing up again, it would be under braking. Don't know if this particular sim gives you a track cut warning penalty for running wide at 130R. I can imagine that's something. Nidazak's running very wide through the final corner. And what happened there? It looks as though he's... Yeah, he doesn't look... Yeah, he doesn't look quite happy with that 89 car. I have a feeling, bear in mind where he's having issues, there's some damage on that front left. It appears to be slight, but I'm sure... Well, let's have a look at how the driver's doing. As he comes through the final S's and up towards Dunlop. Floating on the throttle. The car looks straight. Perhaps just a slight lack of steering ability on that front left. There's again a left-hand corner and he just can't bring it round. A bit of under rotation on the rear axle as well. That was beautifully done. As the drivers come around for the 7th time of asking around Spoon Curve. He's 0.2 of a second behind Jokic. And Jokic, I knew there was something that had gone wrong. What has happened to the 74 car? Dropped all the way to the back of the field. That's not healthy. I wish I had a second install of ACC so I could find out. Here he is in front of Peter Baintner, still in front. Oh, was it it? No. Oh, he ran wide and tried to keep it nice and safe for... And is this just going to be the whole pack passing him? Oh, I know that pain. Oh, I really know that pain. Oh. So to the back of the field. Jokic has enough pace that he can 100% make that work. And there is not that much damage to the tyres, so I'm sure going long and perhaps getting some kind of overcut or undercut could work. .66 in the hunt on the 148 car. This is Monticelli's opportunity to get within touching distance of second place in the AM class, and critically for Andrzej Kuszar, who's further down the field, perhaps pressure Baintner into making a mistake. That incident, not even at the start, at the turn one, they didn't get that far before they had an incident. Really has put pay to his opportunities. Well, that Speed Lover Porsche livery, absolutely resplendent on the 66 car. Always a treat to see that livery come out. And never get bored of it. There's always more detail to find. But the classes seem to be settling down a little bit, especially at the head of the field. Spreading out just a little bit more than we have seen in these sessions so far. 5 minutes until the pit window opens. At which point the cat is thrown very much amongst the pigeons, and we have to all rip up our notebooks that we've been taking so far. Both of the drivers are getting a kick of oversteer through turn 2 there. At which point we rip up our notebooks, write new ones, and try to work out what the heck is going on. So enjoy this moment of peace, relative peace, with Monticelli hounding the 148 car. Because it's about to get a little bit crazy. Did look again. It was Monticelli looked just had a nose up the inside. I don't know if that put Peterson off, but he took a slightly wider line. As I say, that could be strategy. He now has a slightly larger gap because he was able to get his throttle down a little bit earlier. Key tactics being shown through the race, but this time he runs wide properly. 148 having to take to the tarmac on the escape, but once again we're going to see the outside line working, the off-camber nature of spoon curve, meaning that you come out of the corner with so much more speed that you can regain that position. And I'm sure this is so frustrating for Matteo. All the while, Andy Brooker in that raw team car has a grandstand view of one of the closest fights on track. So why not utilize that grandstand seat as the 66 car? You can see wiggling all over the back. That's great. We've got a couple of minutes. Have some unadulterated audio from this gorgeous Porsche. And a thrilling fight up ahead. What more could you want from real world racing, let alone sim racing? Almost a lap of unadulterated Porsche Cup car noise from the cabin of the 130, Andy Brooker's car. And I am so glad I muted my microphone because I was screaming at Spoon once again. The different lines between the 66 and the 148 giving us the best entertainment in the lower echelons of the grid. As the 148 goes wide again, the 66 makes its move. We go for the higher camera. Can the 148 get the cutback? I don't know. Up through the S's they come. Now the shoe's on the other foot. Now Peterson gets to attack and Monticelli has to defend from that insidious, insipid car trying to make his way up the field. .148 got a better apex that time. Then here it comes all over again up towards the hairpin. The .148 takes the inside line. There is an ever so slight overlap. They give each other space. And once again, the hairpin is the point of the action. The .148 takes a wider line so that he has more traction to get the throttle down, but the rubber was not quite on the point where he thought it was. But that 66 car got a beautiful launch off of the hairpin. And now towards Spoon Curve, is there anything that Peterson can do to stop the approach? And that is, I don't know if there's oil there or something, but that was a wonderful pirouette for almost the 148 and definitely the 130 of Brooker. Now, I wonder as well, back to Andy Brooker, is he going to lose a position here? It looks like he has. Kushar is gone and up the road. The 13 car in 13th is gone as well. 130 to the back of the field. Really is a difficult track, this, causing plenty of issues. Into the pits as the pit window opens. 5 cars taking to the pits immediately in the form of the 77 Miladinovich in the 58, Zach in the 89 car. All of the timing streams went crazy. So Zamora is the leading car who has taken to the pits from 5th. If I'm remembering correctly, Peterson... No, yep. Peterson will be closer to the end of the pit lane and across the start-finish line most likely. Miladinovich in the pits as well, the leading AM car pitting very early indeed. Neither Zach looking to overhaul the cars ahead. Monticelli as well taken to the pits that we just saw. Jokic in the pits too to try and get it out of the way, and Andy Brooker getting those slightly burnt tyres off of the car as well. And here is where the strategy starts to play out. Stop-go 30 for Matteo Monticelli. That is speeding in the pit lane. The 66 car, after having such a good race, has ruined it by speeding in the pit lane. That was a beautiful sideways moment. There will definitely be some heat in those tyres now for Matteo. And Sodre and Kushar are together on track. This is an odd fight. The 78's carrying damage. That's why. So Andrej, after having an awful turn of luck with 7th and 8th in the opening rounds, finally the luck turned his way and he managed to finally get a win and then a second place out in Barcelona. But this time in Suzuka, the luck seems to have fallen back against him again. Really unfortunate because he really is a very good driver in these Porsches. I didn't mean to press that. Interesting one. And there we go. Andrej through the S's. Much more confident with the pace of his car. Is able to pull away through the twisty bits from Sodre. But now is the time to make hay while the sun shines. Minton has dropped into pits as well. Out on his own it looks like. But where is he on track? Hairpin So he's defended from Zamora successfully. That's the key part for Minton here, is staying ahead of those drivers before. I wonder if he had life left in that previous set of tyres, but he's trying to go for the undercut. He was in second place. He could go for his victory here. The victory that has been so long coming. Baitner into the pits, Santic into the pits. Monticelli is through for his stop-go. Abhishek Jha, Alex Torregrossa, Andrej Kuchar and Jean Sodre are those who have yet to pit. Andrej first in the AM class for the time being, and I'm sure he's going to be regretting having to drop into the pits for his mandatory stop. But simultaneously, Minton retakes at least one position as Santic comes out the pits, I think, ahead of Zamora. Yes, so significantly ahead of Zamora now. That's great news for the 125. Oh, although on those cold tyres, not quite up to pressure yet. It's not a stable car yet. Big ol' wiggle. Coming uphill through the S's. Wonderful to see the drivers really having to work for their bread tonight. Sodre is the man who is going to fare worst out of all of this, I think. That 13 car really struggling, or 30 seconds down the road is going to put pay to any kind of decent result that he might have been looking forward to. Into the pits for Abhishek Jha from second position. Torregrossa leaving it as late as possible. He's going to have to come to the pits the next time round, though, because he's not going to have he's not going to have an opportunity to. He's got to be into the pits this time round. There's 148 cars facing the wrong way. 148 is Josh Peterson. I said that there would be issues there. 3 cars into the pits. Jean Sodre is going to fall a long way down with that 30-second penalty. There we go. Andrej Kuchar is just getting his tyres and possibly that damage fixed as well. I would be inclined to get that 78 car pristine for the end of the race. This is the car that we need to be questioning most, however. All he needs to do is get into the pit lane, so this lap around he will have, where's the track map suggesting the 148 is having some really bad oversteer issues. Through the chicane, big old cut through there as well. That's mental as he takes a narrower line. There we go. Breaks into the pit lane with 1 minute 40 to go. He's got more than enough time, and as Minton leaves, Torregrossa pits. That wasn't Minton, it was Andrej Kuchar. So this is now the driver to watch for. His last lap was a 2:04.1, fastest lap of the race for Minton. Not the fastest overall, but certainly faster than the pace that Torregrossa was setting. We may yet see an upset and a potential for a victory with the fresher tyres that Minton's put on. Wait for the segment to go green. That is when Toro Rosso will be on the ground. As he comes through 130R. I wish I had a stand-up desk right now because I do not want to be sitting down through the final chicane. And the segment goes green. He is out of the pit lane. He must have been right at the very end of the pit box. And there is the number 7 car. Cold tyres, so we'll have to go slowly. This is going to get close. There's no other way to put it. The gap has come down to, by the looks of it, around 5 seconds. .9 seconds then, the gap between first and second. And what do we have around the rest of the field? Peterson under pressure from Monticelli, it looks like. So 148 having a nightmare of a time in this second part of the race post pit stop. And that 148 car is not looking at all happy on its rubber. 66 car has a very easy time being able to overhaul the 148 in a straight line. Ooh, that's still close. And that could still have been, that was very, very close indeed. I don't know what's happened for Peterson, but that is a big, big gap to have. Yep, and again, Peterson having a massive oversteer moment. That's insane. And Toro Rosso still has a 5.5 second. It has come down though. Maybe with some fresh rubber, Minton is feeling these tyres a little bit more than Toro Rosso is. Coming through the first split, it's equalised at the moment. I'm sure he is watching every split to see if there's a possibility he might be gaining. Laps traffic becoming an issue now. Santic as well has a big gap between. They've all spread out through these pit stops, so Toro Rosso a very commanding lead. As another spin for 148. Hopefully he's not going to come back onto the. There we go, good. Looks as though coming through the final sector, it's still gone up, even though Toro Rosso had to deal with the traffic of Peterson there. One of the first representative lap times that we'll see from him on these new tyres, and it is a 204.194, only a tenth down on his best lap in the race so far, with Minton setting a 204.4, so the gap goes out by 0.3. Abhishek Char is a second up. I thought I saw. No, neither Zach. Someone has retired, it looks like. Peterson's in the pits. Miladinovic finally has the 610 car within sight. Oh, Miladinovic has fallen back in a really big way. In 8.5 seconds now in arrears of the 610 car of Peter Baintner. So with the attack of Kuchar falling by the wayside, it seems, and that is Peterson out of the race, unfortunately, for whatever reason. It'd be lovely to find out what happened after that pit stop, because he was doing A-OK beforehand. And it'd be interesting to see what happened with the 58 car here as well, as he's got his right indicator on. Awesome. There's nothing from Mr. Peterson yet, unfortunately. But at the moment, Toro Grosso is just on an absolute tear. He's just set his fastest lap of the race, and it's a 2 minutes 3 seconds. 3 seconds, .423. That's getting down towards qualifying pace for the number 7 car. With 18 minutes to go, the order really have just settled it out into Degner's 1 and 2. For Toro Grosso, he's still pushing. Just in case you thought he was going to be letting off now that he's won the championship. The stopwatch is his competition now. And he's going even faster. I kept the camera on him just in case he was gonna go any quicker. He's gonna go even faster. Across the line, that is a 2:03.3 for your champion-elect. And almost a 10-second gap between himself and the 75 car now. What an astonishing achievement from Toro Grosso. He really does feel these cars in a way that I don't think many people do. It looks like Zach is looking to put pressure pretty soon on the 25 car of Abhishek Jha. See how that gap comes down. I'm sure he is well within target acquired range, though running a slightly faster. Let's have a look at him now. Oh yes, very much. Does the 89 see the opportunity for a 5th place? And perhaps Jar is struggling with his tyre wear for some reason or other. Another really wide moment. I wonder if they are getting track cut penalties for running over the curbs on the outside of a spoon. Because I can well believe that you should. But as to whether the game is or not, now we'll see. If we start getting stop-go penalties, or 10-second penalties, etc, etc, we can assume that people have been stepping over the mark a bit too much. Neither Zach, through Sector 2, took half a second out of Abhishek Jha. And that's the twisty section. Across the line, it's going to be under a second, isn't it? No, it's just at a second. The 3/10 again, an enormous deficit being overcome here. With the 89 car, who gets a bit of a slide through turn 2. He really is throwing that 89 car around. And then up over Dunlop curve we come. Abhishek so eager to get through the apex of the corners, he's cutting the grass on the inside. Don't think that's going to cause him issues. Oh, that was a wonderful corner from Zach. And then into the hairpin we go, and this is where Zach has been making up all of the time. Actually, through Sector 1 he actually lost time to Jha there. But through Sector 2 and Sector 3, he's able to reel in the 25 car driver. Looks like he's got so much more grip underneath him than does Jha. And into the hairpin once again. Zach's now under a second. And is gunning for that 5th position. Oh, he goes too close to the edge. And drops away all the progress that he's made. And that's going to haunt him all the way down the start-finish straight as well. It's gone out to 1.7 seconds. He's got 12 minutes. That's more than enough time for him to make up that difference and go for the pass again. But that's not the mistake that he needed to make. Santic, meanwhile, looks like he's closing in on the 75 of Minton. Not through the last lap, perhaps. But there is a definite intent to the 125's progress as well. All that work to do again for the 89 car. And then on the brakes into the hairpin. Little kick of oversteer on the exit as well. That's not going to do his tyres any good, and it's not going to do his progress up the track any good as well. Looks cooler. Oh, big old slide through Spoon. Is that Nida using the end of his tyres? Perhaps. And then through the final corner, does he get back under a second through the final sector? Looks like he might. No, not quite. Not quite broken the second barrier. I get the distinct feeling that 89 car is running out of rubber on those black round things on the edge of the car. I wonder perhaps if Nidazak has settled finally for that 6th position. Every time he gets close, there seems to be something that pushes him off track. What else is going on around the track with 23 laps completed and under 10 minutes to go as well? Toro Rosso is leading by 13 seconds from the 75 of Dan Minton. He's just going to cross the start-finish line to start the 24th lap. Minton second, Adrian Santic is in third, slowly closing in on the 75 car, but his current rate of progress, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Diego Zamora in the 77 is fourth and just off the podium. Great for Zamora, but he must feel that he's capable of doing so much more. Abhishek Shah in the 25 car, and the 89 of Nidazak is what we are looking at over 5th and 6th. Yeah, I think Nidazak has perhaps stepped off the throttle slightly. And behind this, what was a battle, is Peter Baintner in the 610 and first of the AM cars. So the cream once again rising to the top of AM, and Baintner will take another victory in the AM class of this championship. Miladinovic a mere 5 seconds behind. I don't think he's going to be able to have the pace to be able to overthrow Baintner's grip on that first position, but good nonetheless. Dejan Jokic in the 74 car is in 7th in Pro and 9th overall, with a number of unfortunate circumstances and events that have left him wallowing far down from where he is capable of being. Andrzej Kushar recovered to 3rd position, perhaps without that first corner incident. He might have been further up. He may have been able to challenge Baintner and turned this championship over again. But he has been relegated to 3rd position in AM class. Jean Sodre with that 30-second penalty for the start straight is in 11th. Andy Brookett in the 130, having a number of unfortunate events as well, and Monticelli going a little bit wide through the S's and trying to be polite and not jump straight back onto the circuit on the racing line, but in doing that went across some of the bumps on the grass at this classic Suzuka circuit. No tarmac off the racing line here, just gravel and wall. But Monticelli, the architect of his own destruction. Brooker and Monticelli have swapped places? That looks like a mistake for the 130 car. Hang on. Oh, that's fine, don't worry. There was a split time the split time was referring to the car behind, not the car in position. Minton now looking like he is falling even further behind. But that Porsche is riding the curbs like some kind of off-road car. I don't know what Toro Rosso has done to those bump and rebounds, but they are certainly working very well for him. Neither Zach is now starting to fall away as well. So with 4 or 5 minutes left to go, and in the absence of any close battles, let's just sum up this championship then. And I do hope that we have a few of the drivers join the voice chat to be able to run over the championship with me as well, because it has been super eventful. Great dominant display from Alex Torregrossa to lead out of the gates with an astounding amount of pace compared to the rest of the field. He would only be deposed from the top of the podium once in the entire championship, and that is only because Andrzej Kuchar, I think, finished no, it was Borovic, Filip Borovic, who came into the championship halfway through, did 2 races, one first time out at Silverstone, and then had to secede to Toro Rosso when it came to Barcelona, the Spaniard's home track, of course, playing into that potentially, and a little home knowledge helping out in ACC as well. But a trip across the ocean to the land of the rising sun, and Alex Torregrossa reigns supreme once again with a 14-second lead over the second place Dan Minton. Dan Minton, another name who features heavily at the top of any timing screens that we've seen. His consistency throughout this season has been exemplary, second to none in what are very difficult cars to drive. Has not been off the podium this entire championship, and if it hadn't been for the domination of Torregrossa, you could well imagine that Minton's consistency could have won him this championship. Between them, they are 35 points ahead of the next driver in the championship, Abhishek Jha, who again has had an interesting evening, but has kept it mostly in the top 10, apart from Silverstone, which he was not able to be at. But 5th place tonight, and being ahead of Diego Zamora, or in close proximity to Diego Zamora, will give him that 4th position in the championship, 3rd position in the championship. I think Borovic will fall away as he was not able to attend tonight, but a dominant display while he was on track. Remco Langendijk was not going to feature tonight either through other commitments, and so will fall away quite significantly too. DJ Jokic running around in 9th position, but will take points away from tonight, and so should overhaul at least those 2. As to whether he can claim 4th or 5th depends on Diego Zamora and the points gap between those 2 at this late stage of the race. Under a minute to go. This will be the last lap for Alex Torregrossa, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to bring that Gulf-coloured Porsche home. It really has been a dominant display from the young Spaniard, and his character that goes along with that pure driving pace in these cars and his wonderful car control is second to none. The AM standings, Peter Baetner will secure his lead in the championship with Andrzej Kuchar in third position. Miladinovic, who has joined the halfway through the season, he DNF'd twice, then rose to third in the AM class and will take home second tonight. Will do well to overcome some of his rivals, but won't do enough to score very highly. Kuchar will maintain his second position in the championship. Otto Winkler may well fall away. Leon Peterson is not featuring tonight as well. Matteo Monacelli, as stated, should be comfortably in fifth position. Andy Brooker, having been running so well in the early parts of this race, all fell apart in the later stages, unfortunately. Sodre Rower did not start. Miladinovic will overhaul a few drivers with a brilliant second place out tonight. Zager, Jackson, Minga not featuring, unfortunately, but we run through the driver standings in just enough time to say that Alex Torregrossa, your champion-elect, turns that champions-elect into a championship win for the second time at ISDA, will take the win in gentlemanly style, leading the Brit Dan Minton across the finish line, and donuts are much more easily served up in these cup cars with zero traction control. Thank you very, very much. Dan Minton will end up being 14.6 seconds in arrears of the number 7 car, and Santic will close that gap up to 4.4 seconds in the end. Donuts for everyone. I think they're starting to get the idea that we like donuts here. Let me jump to the commentators booth, and first into the Ready to Interview room is actually our head commentator. Sure, you can have that title too. Our head steward for the evening, Mali Bacho. Welcome to the Combox, mate. Go on, give us your perspective from a steward's perspective.
Good evening. Once again, you heard my voice throughout the race. Luckily, not so much, and I think you can draw some conclusions from that fact. I mean, it was a super clean race, and it was fun to watch because we had some actually amazing fights all over the track.
Yes, yeah. We've got this really odd scenario at the moment with how the pit stops work. That everybody seems to have optimized their pit stop strategies to the point where we aren't getting that overlap that we've seen on previous occasions in the early stages of this championship, and of course in the GT3 championship last season. There was a lot of tactics being played out, a lot of strategies being worked on, and it's gotten to the point where that's no longer happening.
Yeah, I was quite surprised to see that a lot of drivers have actually dived into the pit lane once the pit window was opened. And I was also really surprised to see that people who are actually fighting for positions go to pits at the same time. I mean, it's like like an unwritten rule, like a rule of thumb, not to go into the pits at the same time as your competitor goes. But yeah, I was surprised. I was shocked to see that.
Yeah.
So I guess they were all about what happens on track, and they did the pit for formalities.
Yeah, Yeah, it seems as you say, it seems strange that there wasn't that much. Well, in fairness, with a 2 minute lap time, there's not really that much strategy that there's not going to be that much of an overlap you can pull on this particular occasion.
Yeah, would agree with that.
But maybe that's why. But again, you never know. It's never like the lesson, as you and I would know it, is you never do the same as your competitors. If they pit, you don't. Even if you're circulating on fumes, you run that extra lap because you never know, that might make the difference.
Exactly. But
So
I mean, on another hand, it's nice to see that battles were done on track and not in the pits. So that adds a new dimension on it. So is one approach better than the other? I'm not willing to call it.
no, of course. And the thing is that we get the excitement either way, whether it's having to do the addition and subtraction and the maths of will they get out, won't they get out, or whether we get to see them side by side on track. Either way, it's always a thrill for us.
I mean, the excitement and the thrill also comes from our commentators. So well done to you for keeping everyone entertained. And once again, a high quality commentary throughout the whole season from you, and a high quality driving from all of the drivers. So uh, it was mind blowingly calm
Yeah.
this season, and the stewarding crew relied on all the drivers, and we relied on your commentary. So you literally made our job easy. So thank you for that, and thanks to all the drivers and all the spectators as well.
There we go. Mali, thank you for organising it. Obviously, none of this would happen without you, Yonkers, and the rest of the admin doing all of that work behind the scenes, making up the graphics, making up the website, which is where all of this is organised, and the reason why I could give such comprehensive information on the championship standings throughout the season was because of the website that you guys built. So we all need each other, I think.
Oh well, thank you.
Is the end of the day. No, it's absolutely brilliant what you guys have done in such a short period of time. The professionalism with which ISDA holds itself, the pride in which all of these drivers have in their ability and of the guys around them. It's wonderful to see in the sim racing community, and really does hold true that the only difference between sim racing and real racing is that real racing costs more. If you're willing to take it seriously, this is the kind of racing that you can get.
I would absolutely agree, and would invite everyone to keep an eye out on us. We're now going into a short summer recess, but we look to come back with another competitive season. Let's say in about month and a half or 2 months, something like that. Maybe we will of course organize fun events in the meantime, probably on Thursdays to keep that Thursday as the day of ISDA. But as for competitive seasons, I think we will have a short rest.
Yeah.
And may I say, in front of my whole crew, a well-deserved rest.
Yes, 100%. I totally agree with you. I was going to say a word then. Mali, it's been wonderful. Thank you ever so much. And you heard it here first. Thursday is ISDA day. So be here, be ready to have some fun races in a number of sims. You've been to Race Room recently, haven't you? With some of those fun evenings.
We're exploring.
Yeah. So if you want to know what's coming up in the future of ISDA, be here on Thursdays and take part in the fun events. Have your input on where ISDA goes from here.
That's a nice slogan. Thank you very much. And
Good,
see you soon.
Yes, see you soon, mate. Have fun.
You too.
And first of our drivers that we will bring into the Combox, who else can it be other than your champion for the Pro Class, the winner of basically every race in this series, Alex Torregrossa. Welcome, for the last time in this series at least, to the Combox. The number 7 car has taken you from flag to flag, from start to finish, in the most classic style. What do you have to say for yourself?
I mean, okay, yeah, thank you. It was a great day, of course. And I mean, I love this track as well. Barcelona probably I told you was one of my best, but I can actually tweet on my account that I cannot like I fall in love every time I race here because this was the circuit I could race when I had when I was playing Gran Turismo 4 15 years ago. So 15 was probably 15 10 to 15 years old. And oh my goodness, I just love this track. It has a unique flow, and it doesn't matter the car. It just goes going around there. I mean, if it's a little bit, I mean, if it's low, if it has no power and you have to do the lap in 3 minutes, probably it's gonna be like a little bit boring. But yeah, whatever car I pick to race here, it's wonderful.
I feel your pain from Gran Turismo 4, and having had to do that in a Yaris Cup, I think it was, I can say categorically it's just as fun if your lap times are 3 minutes. Even if you're in a horrible Japanese eco box with front-wheel drive and 60 horsepower, it's just as good. I'm totally on the same page as you. Suzuka is a wonderful, wonderful circuit, and it's so great to see this classic layout still gets so much use in esports as well. Talk for a moment for us about the championship as a whole then. You wrapped up, as far as points were concerned, last time out at Barcelona. But you really sealed the deal tonight at Suzuka. Taking a dominant victory. Did you ever feel like it was in doubt? Did you ever feel like you were going to be struggling, or if you had that confidence in the car the entire season and it's just all fallen into place?
I mean, I was the decision of not practicing for the races is like as long as I'm confident to like be on Thursday and do a couple of laps, I knew that I could like make the most of these cars. Probably not on all tracks. Imola was probably the track I wasn't. I know that the lap times you have to do in every condition, and Imola was a little bit off. And of course, Silverstone, because it was raining, I didn't know what was going on about, but on all three other races, I was like on the pace I wanted to be, and I knew that if I could keep it up, it would be more wins. Wins to bring it home.
Of course. Well, I don't know what ISDA has planned for the rest of the season or the rest of the year, but from what I hear, you guys are having a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Over the summer.
I'm not gonna stop today because I still have to finish another league I'm running. But on 2 weeks forward, starting in it's June today. It's June this month. I don't know what month we're.
Yeah. We're halfway through the year, Alex.
By next month on July, I would be like probably having a little bit of a break, but I don't want to make it long because I just want to go back again and be on do my pre-season to be up in shape for keep going.
Of course. Alex, I need to get through the other two drivers that are waiting. Thank you very much for dropping in and saying hi, and thank you for giving an absolute masterclass throughout the last month and a week of
I want to tell you something. Sorry. By lap 2 or 3, when I lost 1 second to Dan Minton, the thing is my kitten, my parents left the kitten alone. I mean, he was on the kitchen closed, and he went upstairs and he managed to went under my pedals.
Oh,
and he's so little. So I was like, get out. At the same time, I was like, okay, I I might need to abort the race because I couldn't leave it here. But then I just showed to my parents, and yeah, they actually grabbed it.
Were you streaming that out of interest?
Yeah, but
Cool.
it's like me showing. Probably the video is not. They didn't make a clip, so I don't save the videos. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Oh.
but it was me like shouting, "Hey, come on, come here and take out the cat, the kitten."
Oh. So a slight technical issue in the race then.
Right, technical issue. Yeah.
Just slight. Alex, thank you very much for leading the entire pack this entire season. It's been absolutely it's been brilliant watching you.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see you back on track in the next championship.
Yeah.
You have a lovely evening, mate, and I'll probably catch you in a couple of minutes anyway.
Evening, yeah.
Yeah, catch you in a bit, man. Okay, who do we speak to first? I think we need to speak to our champion for the AM class. Peter Baitner, a story of consistency for yourself. And letting the races come to you? Perhaps?
Yeah, definitely. Good evening.
Good evening.
Pretty happy about the result. Actually, it was funnily, I don't know if you've been following, but quite a similar situation as last week on Barcelona, that I was leading, and somehow the second place in the AM class somehow didn't manage to catch up, even though I was fighting this time because my rear tires were melting like crazy. I have no idea what was going on.
Oh wow, okay. No, we had your main competition in the form of Kushar Ondrej. He was taken out in the start line incident down the end of the field. So a bit of a qualifying mistake for him ended up causing his particular failing. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do several things at once because I'm trying to be clever. But yeah, talk us, because okay, this is going to be the closest you're going to get from to an insult from me. Your qualifying performances haven't been dominant, shall we say?
No, I'm not a good qualifier, and I don't know really why. Like, I can instantly have my performance there for qualifying, but I'm like, my performance is like, say 80%, but I'm instantly on my 80%. So I'm the first guy going on the track having a 80% qualifying lap, but I cannot really improve. It's not like I do laps and laps and laps and get quicker in qualifying, but I just keep this pace more or less in the race. So that's the way I do races.
Yeah. I was gonna. It's a as someone who does pretty similar. I understand your pain, but at the same time, it must be frustrating seeing the faster drivers just slowly eke away from your time. But you get to that 80%, you stick there, and that has given you the championship. Let's be very fair here.
Yeah, I mean it's like my motto at racing in the last couple of years that you know the saying, to finish first you have to finish first. So
to finish first you have to finish. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the way I try to go with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But at the same time, it's very difficult to do that. It's one thing to say, it's another thing to do it. I've always found. But you seem to have mastered the art. Will you be back for the whatever championship ends up coming in the after the summer break?
Definitely. I really enjoyed it. Perfect organization, anyhow.
Awesome. Peter, it's been wonderful to watch your racing, and we did actually have quite a bit of eyes on you because you were under pressure from one of the pro cars behind, if I remember correctly, as well. for a while. I can't remember which one it was now, but that car ended up falling by the wayside as well. So insane consistency. The man of consistency, Peter Baitner. Thank you very much. I'll catch you whenever I end up seeing you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
And
go on.
thanks for the event.
No, it's cool. It's absolutely fine, mate. You have a lovely evening.
You too, man. Bye-bye.
And finally, into the combox, the man who has the worst luck of anyone on any grid that I've ever seen, Andrzej Kuchar. Welcome to the combox, and I can only say commiserations.
Hello, Ike. Today it wasn't actually about luck. Today it was about my mood and so on. Sort of dealing with some personal stuff, so I wasn't in the mood, and I wasn't prepared for the race. And the car was sliding so much. It was sliding like in almost every corner, and it was really difficult for me to tame it. I spun a couple of times, but yeah, I still made it to the finish, as always.
Yeah, and getting to the finish is often half the battle. Unfortunately, from what I see, class, because the standings have now been updated, you have kept that second place. So the overall win in the championship, you've missed out on, but with a first, second, and third in the last 3 rounds, you've secured by about 15 points or so the second place from Monicelli.
Yeah, nice. I wasn't even paying attention to who's in front and so on in this race. So I wasn't sure where will I end up in the in the end.
Well,
but yeah, that's nice. That's satisfactory.
Yeah, if we take into account that you have real life issues going on at the moment, which obviously we won't, we do sim racing to an extent to get away from that, don't we? Really?
Yeah.
So to have real life issues going on and still bring, let's say, your B game to a race that went wrong not because of anything you did, but because of stuff happening around you.
Well, yeah, but in the end, it was always like my mistakes and so on. But yeah, the circumstances could like make it easier for me to make a mistake and so on.
Yeah, it makes it easier, but it's still. I dare say you shined as brightly as you could today, and to take home a third position and keep hold of that, because it could have been, if you had have given up and gone home, you probably would have lost second position in the championship overall. So
yeah, maybe, yeah, probably.
Your
probably,
personal,
yes.
You're a testament to your personal strength, if not the your driving ability tonight on this particular evening. How about that?
That sounds nice.
Awesome. We'll take that away from tonight. You enjoyed the Porsche Cup cars throughout the championship?
Yes, of course. I enjoyed it, except this last race. I think I wouldn't enjoy the last race even if I didn't have the issues around, because it was just so slidey and so out of control. It felt out of control most of the time, but but yeah, overall I really enjoyed this this season of the Porsche Cup.
Yeah.
On ISDA. It was really nice.
It has been wonderful to watch you as well. Let's be very fair. It's been excellent to see your, again, it's strength of character. That's the takeaway from this season, from my perspective, is your ability to get up and carry on, because you've been driving well. You've just been in the wrong place at the wrong time, or you've had really unfortunate 1% issues that, like, if they had happened in isolation, it would have been okay, but because it happened at that particular point at that particular time, it was a much bigger incident, and things like that. As I say, you have the worst luck of anyone on this grid for sure, and you really deserve so much more from this championship than what you got.
Oh, thank you, thank you. But I think there is one more person that has less luck than me, and that's Andrew Brooker,
Yes. Yes.
because I think he got involved in some incident almost every race, and it was almost always not of his doing. He was
Yeah.
just in the bad
Yeah.
time on the bad spot. So yeah, I think he's really the unlucky one.
Yeah. 100%.
I feel for him because he's also streaming, and I saw him
Oh.
practicing almost the whole week. Like almost
Oh.
every day, he was always practicing, and then something happened to him almost every race.
Oh, well, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That's absolutely broken my heart. I need to follow him. Was he streaming on Twitch?
No, he's on YouTube.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I shall find him and I shall
Yeah, I
subscribe
think
to him.
yeah. I think it's Broker Gaming and then some number. I'm not sure.
Ah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll work it out. It's fine.
Yeah.
Andrej, I can't wait to see you back in whatever car we end up running at ISDA again next season. Can I also recommend you get involved if you haven't already in the Dirt Rally 2 stuff that we've got going on, because with your ability to handle the sliding cars, I'm sure rallying is right up your street.
Yeah, I'm actually planning on buying some round wheel because I have only GT, the McLaren GT3
Yeah.
from Fanatec, but I am planning on getting the WRC wheel and the shifter.
Yes, do it. You don't need any buttons on it. Just get the most basic wheel that you can. You don't need to spend as little as possible. Get the cheapest wheel you can. You don't need any buttons with Rally. All you need is a sequential shifter and a paddle shift for the handbrake.
Yes, exactly.
And then of course, if I can wrangle Royalty's arm. Oh, you left the server. God damn it. If I can wrangle Royalty's arm to run some World Rallycross sessions, then we'll have some more fun.
Yeah, sure.
Brilliant. You have a lovely evening, Andrej. It's been a pleasure as always, and we'll see you next time.
You too, and thank you for having me. Certainly looking forward to seeing you here more.
Awesome. You have a lovely evening, mate.
You too. See ya.
Yeah. And we can, due to the fantastic skills of Mali Bacho and the rest of the ISDA team, give you the final championship standings for the Porsche Cup Challenge from ISDA. As you can see, Alex Torregrossa will take the win of the championship with 130 points, to the good of Dan Minton with a mere 91. Abhishek Jha will finish in third position with a fairly consistent just off the podium, giving him a 12-point lead over Diego Zamora for FACC Racing. Philippe Baravec with a double appearance will finish 5th. 6th will be Remco Langendijk. 7th will be Dejan Jokic with 45, 44, 42. You can see how tight it gets further down. Every position makes a difference. Joshua Peterson with a DNF tonight could well have overhauled a few of his other competitors if he had have just stuck with it. Neither Zach will fall to 9th position, or will progress to 9th position in this particular session. Brandon Leach will end up 10th. 11th will be Adrian Santic with his solo finish, but managing to end up 3rd. Mattia Silva will finish in 12th, and 13th will be George Hemming. In the AM class, Peter Baintner with a second, first, didn't start first, and first will lead the way with 97 points overall. Andrej Kuchar will take home second, as I said in the interview with him, with 83 points. Matteo Monacelli will take home third. Otto Winkler, despite not being able to start tonight, will end up in 4th position overall. In 5th will be Andy Brooker for the Paper Cars team. That 130 Custard Yellow doing everything he could to keep that car in the higher positions in the AM class. Leon Peterson didn't start tonight, but will take home 6th. Gene Sodre finishes 4th tonight and will end up 7th. Mitja Miladinovic has had a very unlucky championship, but managed to finish up with a 2nd position. So encouraging for the next time out, and the rest of the drivers look as though they didn't start very many races. So with... There we go. He had to do that transition. With the championship done and the cars all gone home, we can only leave you with the words of Colin McRae. If in doubt, flat out. And it's been wonderful to have you all for this championship, and it's been great to be commentating it as well. We look forward to the end of the summer recess, when ISDA will no doubt be back for more. Check the links in the video description to find out how to get involved with the International Sim Drivers Association, and how you could possibly end up talking to me after you have finished your first race. My name has been Alex Guy. You've been watching the International Sim Drivers Association GT3 Cup Challenge from Suzuka. It's been wonderful as always to have your company, and I will see you all wherever we end up going next. A very good evening to you all. Good night.